Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello, all you beautiful people. My name is Mikey, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. At first, I was trying to figure out what game I want to discuss for the episode, and after a little bit of thinking, I thought, man, you're just going to do Melee. It's so obvious. Stop debating it and just do Melee. So, here I am. I'm sure for a lot of people listening, you and I, we're in similar boats. We probably played Smash with our friends at each other's houses, just goofing around, having a good time. I think everybody has similar experiences with Smash. And that's what makes the game so amazing. It is great for parties and hanging out and just casual play. But then also, you can practice for years and keep getting better and better and better. And then there's still room to improve. I have been playing this game for 22 years now. And you know what, let's be honest, I'm better now than I was when I was 6, but there's still so much potential for me to grow. I can still get so much better at this game, and I don't see myself stopping playing this game anytime soon. When the game came out, I was probably in first or second grade, and I didn't have a GameCube at the time, but my best friend Mark did. So we would always go to Mark's house and play his copy of Melee. And Mark and I, we formed this rivalry. We were really, really close in skill. We would always go back and forth. He would beat me sometimes. I would beat him sometimes. We were neck and neck. And then one day I decided to go on YouTube and look into tips on how to get better in Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is probably around 2007 at this point. And I see a video by this dude, Sephiroth Ken. And that just opened a whole new world for me. I just discovered that there's a competitive aspect to this. There's a whole nother community of players who take this to a whole nother level. I just want to beat my friends. Not anymore. I now want to be the best player in the world. That obviously did not happen. I am not the best player in the world. I wasn't even the best player in Mark's basement. I was not the best player in the friend group. But that didn't stop me from practicing and trying, and then eventually going to these tournaments and meeting people and making new friends. And at the beginning, the only thing we had in common was that all of these weirdos hanging out in comic shops and basements and college venues was just, we loved the same game. We all loved Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. So I went from playing with Mark and Corey and Niles and Julio in the basement to going to these larger tournaments and meeting literally hundreds of people who play this game for the pure love of it. This is not a lucrative esports. You are not going to become a millionaire playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is a 20-year-old game that most tournaments don't really give a shit about. But we're in it for the passion. Everyone who is at this tournament is just there because they're excited to play the game that they fell in love with 20 years ago. Like I said, I never became the best player in the world. But I found my talents were useful in other places. I became a tournament organizer. I liked going to tournaments. I liked meeting people. I liked being part of a community. But turns out I'm really bad at this game. Every tournament I went to, I would come in last place. That is not a joke. I practiced I practiced this game for years. I practiced this game for over a decade. And every tournament I went to, I came in last place. And that losing streak lasted for maybe 5-6 years. It lasted the entirety of my college career. It lasted the entirety of my high school career. I was not good at this game. But like I said, I liked being part of the community. I liked making friends. So I turned around and I started running the events instead. I reached out to a comic book store who used to run Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games. They used to run Pokemon card games in the basement on Saturdays. And I was like, hey, if no one's using your venue, can we play Super Smash Brothers on Sundays? And James, the comic shop owner, was like, sure, of course. And I can honestly say through all of this, I've put more time and effort into Melee than any other game I've ever played. I have probably thousands of hours in Melee just from the fact that every Sunday for 3 years, I would be in this comic book shop basement playing Melee, setting up the CRTs, introducing people and just trying to make a welcoming environment. Because that was my biggest thing. I wanted to have cool vibes. I didn't need to be the biggest and best tournament series in New York City, because I knew that wasn't going to happen. We're in New York City, baby! It's the city that never sleeps. There's always going to be a bigger, flashier event going on than what I can put together in a comic shop basement. But I didn't care. I had people come to my event because they liked the environment that I put together. It was a little bit more chilled back. People could just come and have a good time and have fun. And that was the biggest thing. I had people at the events tell me they felt like we were a tight-knit family, that they felt like they were a part of something here. And honest to God, that's what the fuck I do it for. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Mikey, you keep talking about comic shops and basements and tournaments. I thought you were going to talk about Melee. All right, I get that. I just wanted to show how important this game was to me for the community aspect. I met so many people. I've been to so many places to play this game, and I haven't done that for any other video game. Look, my favorite video game of all time is Ocarina of Time. I am not traveling the East Coast to go to Ocarina of Time tournaments and meet other fans of Zelda. It's just a different environment. And I think that's what made Melee so special to me. It's that I was able to feel like I was a part of something, that there were so many other people who loved the same thing that I did. But you're right, I hear you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the game and not the outside influence it had on me. All in all, Melee is sick. It's my favorite of the Smash games. I think it has a very low skill floor and a very high skill ceiling. So what that means is that when I would bring my Wii and set it up at the school I was working in, and I played with a bunch of third graders and fourth graders, people who have probably never played a video game before, and this is their only opportunity to do it, they could still have a good time. They still had fun playing this game because it's not overtly technical, it's not hard, it's just fun. It's Smash. It is the perfect party game. It has everybody's favorite characters. It has Yoshi, it has Mario, it has Link. The later games have even more characters. I think Ultimate has something like 89 characters you can choose from to play. So no matter what you want or who your favorite character is, odds are you can find something like that in Smash. And I think that makes it very special. And in addition to all of those characters, Melee also included music from all of these Nintendo franchises. Zelda, some of the best music in the video game industry. Mario has some bangers. Kirby definitely has bangers. All of those songs are available in Melee. No matter what stage you go to, you can throw on items, you can have fun, but you will be guaranteed a bop in the background. It is just the perfect experience because it's fun and yet rewarding at the same time. I'm going to be honest, I played Melee for like 4 hours this morning in preparation for this. I was supposed to record this ages ago and I got caught up having such a good time. I think one of the best feelings in this game is when you anticipate what your opponent is going to do and they walk right into your trap. I've said this before, but fighting games, it's all pattern recognition. That's what everything is. You have to figure out, oh no, my opponent, they're doing a bunch of Hadoukens. So you just have to figure out how to avoid the Hadoukens and then punish them for that. It's similar to a Zelda boss or like a From Software boss. You just have to figure out their patterns and then how to exploit it once you realize what that pattern is. And I think there's nothing more satisfying than after playing a few games with someone and you know every time I hit them with this move, they move to the left. So boom, you anticipate it. You're at the left and they walk right into your trap. It is such a good feeling to pull off when you read someone like that. So I'm looking at my phone and I just got a text and it's someone going, "Hey Mikey, who do you play in Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube?" Well, thank you, kind stranger who texted me. I play Marth. Marth is my favorite character in the game. There's just something about his movements, about his sword that just, it feels good. He's smooth. He's like, it's fun. And I remember when the game first came out, I had no idea who Marth was. No one in America did. Fire Emblem was not available in the West yet. I fully thought he was a Legend of Zelda character. Like I said earlier, Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time. Zelda, the series, is my dad's favorite video game series. I grew up with him playing Zelda. So I was excited. I'm going to play as Link. But Link wasn't fun. I wanted more swords, and there's too many arrows, there's too many bombs. And then a little bit over on the character select screen, there's this other guy with a big sword, and I didn't know what he was from, so I just thought, oh, he must be a Zelda character from a Zelda game I didn't play. And then that's how I fell in love with Marth. I used him because I thought he was a Zelda character because I didn't like Link. And you know what? You're welcome. Everybody who likes Fire Emblem Engage or Three Houses or Awakening or Conquest or any of those Fire Emblem games, they got brought to the West. We have them in America because of Melee. They almost didn't include Marth and Roy in the Western releases because Fire Emblem wasn't available, but then they decided against it. And people liked Marth and Roy so much in Super Smash Bros. Melee, they're like, oh man, maybe we need to bring Fire Emblem over here. And you know what? Good thing they did, because Fire Emblem rocks. So I don't want to say it's entirely because of Super Smash Bros. Melee, but it's a big part because of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, I don't have much more I want to talk about. I had a few notes here, but as you can tell from the last 10 minutes of this, I'm kind of just rambling. I just love Melee, and I will take every opportunity I have to talk about it, and I tend to ramble. So, if you thought I rambled too much, please take it up with Matt. I mean, I love Melee. Like I said, I will always talk Melee. And Matt, I appreciate it coming on, but you knew what you were going to get. You knew it was going to be me rambling for 15 minutes. So, Matt, thank you for inviting me onto the show. Listeners, thank you for sitting through 10-15 minutes of me rambling about a game from 20 years ago. But in all seriousness, if any of you want to try Melee, either competitively or casually, you just want to play for fun, you just want to do some silly games, please hit me up. I would love to play Melee with each and every one of you. The last thing I'll leave you with is one more story from when I was running tournaments. We were a relatively smaller tournament. Instead of having 60 or 100 people, we had like 12, maybe 25. So like I said, it was a small, tight-knit community. And because of our size, I made it a point that when someone new came, I introduced myself and I made sure to play a game with them. It doesn't matter if I was in the middle of running a bracket, setting up the stream. If someone new came in and they've never been to my tournament before, I went over, made sure I gave them a high five, sat down, and I played games with them. I wanted them to feel welcomed in the community that welcomed me. So, if any of you want to play Melee, it's on an emulator. Hit me up. I will love to play Melee with you because I want everyone to experience this game and have a good time with it. And I think the best way to have a good time with this game is by playing with other people. That's way more fun than just playing against the computers by yourself. Having that sense of, this is something that you and I love. This is something that you and I are having a good time playing. It's just, it cannot be beat. So with that, my ramble is complete. And I just wanted to say, I love y'all. Happy gaming.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what this Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all these games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.